Malibu.
So I'm going to show you how I got this look. So I went ahead and of course made the wig, that's fine, and I parted the hair in the direct middle part, because I did wear this in the side part, but you want to do it evenly on both sides, because what you don't want to do, unless you plan to keep it in a specific side part, you're going to be stuck with some very uneven color, since this is more of an ombre look. So what I like to do when I'm very lazy, which is usually all the time, I like to go ahead and just sporadically put in nice size sections, and I run the color through. I only do this when I'm doing more of a color that's going to be on a darker side. If it's going to be lighter in the final results, I like to go ahead and simply just take it and try to make the best like the best of it. But since this is going to be on a darker side, it really don't matter how this is going to look, because it's just going to look more of an ombre color. It's going to go from black to like this very burgundy, like lightish burgundy color. So all I'm doing here after I mix the bleach, which I've shown in other videos, how like the consistency of bleach that I like, I'll go ahead and just put it together, and then here just run it through. I didn't do anything to this hair but co-wash it before I started doing this, and I co-washed it I co-washed it after I bleached the knots on the frontal. So I just did all that at one time. I would let it air dry, and then I installed it. So this is the natural texture of it before I went ahead and did any of that. So here at the top, as you can see, I am getting a little bit, and I like to go around once and then let it do like a light lifting, and then I'll go back a little bit more and then get some bigger chunks, so that way everything is even all the way around, but it has levels to it, so it's a bit lighter in some areas and darker in other areas. And what this does is once you deposit your color, it gives you an automatically natural light and under like a lighter tone, and then of course darker tones in it, so it has these different dimensions and everything. It's just not really flat. But this is the very rush but effective way to do something. So this is the hair all done. This is the color it came once I went ahead and rinsed it. I used the L'Oreal Burgundy, and I used one L'Oreal, Revlon Burgundy. And then I went ahead and used a Revlon, it was like a dark burgundy, because I ran out of color. So I was like, okay, whatever, it's all burgundy, it should be fine. And normally I would use like Adore, but I was nowhere close to LA at this point, so it really didn't matter. So as you can see, the color is not as even as I would have done had this been like the solid color, or I would have left it a lighter color, because obviously you don't want it to look blotchy. But because this is a darker color, like I said once before, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference, I mean, at all. Whether it's straight or it's curly, you just will not be able to tell. So that's pretty much what this is. I let this color sit for about, I want to say about a day and a half. If you guys are new here, I like to let my color sit for quite some time, because I want it to be able to take and make sure that it's very even, and make sure that it is very saturated. And sometimes because after a while it just simply stops working. After about 45 minutes, depending on what the directions say, it will stop working. So if that's the situation, you don't have to worry about it over processing. But what it does do is that when it does dry, it'll start to stain the hair itself as just a product, and that's what I like. So it makes sure that my hair, when I do rinse it or I do wash it, it doesn't fade as quick. So this is just me pretty much going over all of the hair, and I literally took a completely separate bottle and drenched the entire head of this to make sure that it came out exactly like I needed it and wanted it to. So this is what it looked like at the end of it, as you can see. And then Once I rinsed it and blow dried it, it was this color. So this is the cutting portion of it. So what we're gonna do is I'm pulling everything up in the front. That's gonna be like the bang part, and cutting it at an angle just so that everything, all the bang in the front is cool. I'm cutting the ends just because this hair had not bad dead ends, but it was quite a few. So as you guys can see, the color came out beautifully. And this is, if you ever just want some layers on the side, pull your hair directly out and cut it very slowly but surely. And you want to cut, I like to cut my hair when I curl it like this in a section as like 3 layers. So I like to cut it at the top layer, the middle layer, and then the very bottom layer. So as you can see here, I'm just taking it and I'm cutting these layers, and I'm really digging in here to make sure that when I do curl it, it does give a nice curl to it, but I'm not trying to chop it all the way. This was not chopped nearly as much as my other one. I was a little bit lighter on this one just because it was going to be heavier at the bottom versus the top, but I did have to get a lot of it out. I cut a lot of hair off. And here's just, I'm checking to see how it's going to be once I curl it, you know, away from my face. This is what I'm trying to check for to make sure that everything is going to lay like it's supposed to. So as you can see, it's starting to shape up. So this is what I like to do. Put it, the first layer that I cut behind, and then cut just a little bit below, and then do that. So this is how I keep checking to make sure that everything is going to look right when I curl it. So it may be a little confusing. I'll have a more in-depth video that's just specifically on the cutting process, but I just wanted to kind of share this part because a lot of people were asking like, oh, can you please tell me how you got this look? And it's very easy to do. You just have to practice at it, and then once you kind of get used to it, it's fine. So this is what it looks like after the fact. So I'm just gonna start curling. This is pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna curl everything that's gonna be on the sides of my head downward, and then that's, well, at the very top we're gonna curl downward. On the sides, we're going to curl backwards. And at the very back, we're going to curl downward. So the sides are back, and then the top and the back is away. And this is just going to guarantee that when I let these curls set and cool, that when I brush it out, that it's going to have this nice bouncy feel to it. So, and then also because of how you cut it will also determine how your hair is going to look when all is said and done. You want like a nice wavy look, but you also want a bouncy wavy look, not really a flat look. And here, I didn't put as much volume like I did the previous look I did to this, where it was really, really tall and voluminous at the top. I wanted the bottom to be like that, and I wanted this to be a little bit more relaxed. So when I did push it away from my face, you could tell that it was more relaxed at the top. So you see here at the top, I did it downward, and then on the side I did it away from my face. As you can see, this, I'm doing this away from my face as well, so that these two particular parts, when you brush it out, they connect and make this one beautiful curl just on the side, and it's away from my face, so I don't have to worry about, I can put it behind my ear or anything like that. So cutting and curling directions make a big difference in how the curls are gonna lay once you brush them out, if you decide to brush them out. So this looks like Angela Bassett's hair in Waiting to Exhale when she went off and she was curling her hair. So once the front is done, the back, you could literally do this like the day of. You don't have to really necessarily curl this if you don't want to, but if you want everything to just be very beauty queen, go ahead. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I made these much bigger in the back as I did in the most, you know, rather than what I did in the front. The front was very like sectioned off. The back, I just grabbed as many big sections as I could, just because of the fact that I knew for a fact that the sides were going to be very voluminous. I didn't really want to look like I had a helmet on or look like a Stanford wife, because it could vary, and then you have to kind of wait for them to drop. So I wasn't trying to do that. So this is what it looks like when I'm done. As you see in the back, I did them very big. In the front, this is what you want it to be, very sectioned off. I use this to make sure I have some shine and some flexibility to it. And then I went ahead and used my hairspray to make sure that it held. And then I let these sit for about I want to say for about a day and some change. Because right after I did this, I wore this look to something. I don't remember what it was. It was before my birthday. I know that much. And I wore this look. And then this is what I got. So you see what I mean? Like all of the curls on the side stayed. And it gives you this really bouncy, voluminous look without it looking too thick at the top. I don't want my hair to be, as you see how the bottoms are, I don't want the top to look that way. So I hope this helped you guys. And I will catch you guys in my next one. Peace.